Today I'm taking you along with me as I do days 2 and 3 for Junk Journal January UK. The prompt for day 2 was slow, and this is the quote that I found: "Slow seasons are for planting seeds." So I used that as my base to try and create this spread. Um, so here I realized I accidentally put 2 pages from that thin book in there when they shouldn't have been there. So I decided to take advantage of that and use that to create a pocket. So here I'm just tearing my page a little bit, inking the edges, and basically turning that into a sort of little pocket where I can then tuck in some ephemera bits. In order to strengthen the pocket and add a bit more color and theme, I used one of my gel prints where I used grass seed heads to create the texture, and I thought that was just the perfect one to use. Also, the color tones are with the browns as well and the silvers, so that worked just perfect for what um, we're doing on in this journal. And here on the other side, I decided to make another pocket and create a little cluster on there in order to put in another tag. So I did a little bit of fussy cutting of this bird, which came from a book of birds of Great Britain, one of my many resources. And I cut out a little flower from that lace that I used for the binding as well. And here I'm just kind of playing with the positioning and thinking about how I want to do it. And I did debate whether I could just leave it as a cluster or whether I wanted to use it as a pocket. So here you see I'm just playing around, trying to figure out how it is I want to use it and how it was that I wanted to kind of embellish the pages. I decided to use some washi tape on the other side to show what um, can grow out of the cold winter seeds, and also because the green on that washi tape is exactly the same kind of green as is on the bird, so I was able to echo the um, the colors. I also reinforced my tags with this box, which came from herbal tea. And on the other side, it's really quite vibrant, which I think is, and full of blossoms and stuff, which I thought was kind of nice for anyone, lifting those tags out, which is cold and gray and with like leafless trees and whatnot, and seeing how on the other side it's full of life and color and blooming and stuff like that. So I thought it was a nice touch. Here I am just making another little cluster which has the quote on it to put on the side of the pocket, on the right hand pocket, and I'm just sewing in my button here, and then I just glued it into place. So here I'm just cutting out my tags, and I'm going to start working on the tags and embellishing them. I just inked the edges a little bit, and I left the back the way it was with the colorful cardstock from the box. And here I just wanted to add something and a little extra, so I found this owl oracle card that I have from a deck that I love, and I plan to use a few more of the animals from that. And since I chose an owl, I decided obviously I need an owl also on the other side. So I found an owl in my nice book of British birds, and here I'm just playing with how to make the focal point for my tag and figuring out which one is actually going to get the focal point first off. Um, I tend to spend a lot of time just fiddling and faffing about with things and trying them out and seeing how they're going to come out. Then I decided to add a little bit of gold leaf stickers to go into that, and add some interest on that plain white back of the page there. And here I'm just playing around with the setup, and I decided that I liked it, and stamping the number for the day, and we're done. Day 3 is cozy, and this is the quote that I decided to use for the day. So the first thing I did was cut out some leaves to go with the quote. These are from another book that I took apart ages ago, and I just fussy cut all the little autumn leaves that I had from these books and inked the edges and then set them aside so that I could then glue them on as an embellishment at the end. Once all the leaves were cut and sorted, I began to decorate the page. And here you'll see I'm working and doing all this stuff, and then I forgot to record at a certain point. So here I'm using some of my tea bag snippet roll that I made ages ago and rediscovered on my last trip to Italy, so I brought some back with me. And I also have this little card with adorable little foxes on it. And I just felt that they worked so nicely with the topic. So I didn't want that writing that's on the bottom. So I decided that part of the quote would go on that, and that I would make like a little cluster to cover it up. And the part that you don't see me um, do here is that after the cluster, I just basically inked up the rest of the quote and laid it out on the other side, as you can see here. And then I just added the autumn leaves around in a pattern that I liked, and I put number 3 on there. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and follow along for more prompts and pages for Junk Journal January UK. Bye for now. Happy creating.